on a story on the Buddha teaching. So we will continue from where we left out. Right? Okay, I'm using my tablet. Right? Okay. Now previously, we are on the story on this. Here is my phone. Right? Okay. Okay. So we already finished on this. The last point we mentioned is on the middle path. So there's a avoid. Actually, when we come to this term middle path, why we call it middle path? Because it's to avoid two extremes. Self-indulgent. That means that when we talk about self-indulgent, as Doris mentioned, as a prince, that means that he enjoy good food, good music, good sound, and he got a wife, enjoy all the comfortable. And self-mortification, or we call it self-torture, as an ascetic. All right. So these 2 points I think is important. Everybody Buddhist, even non-Buddhist, they should know about this. So that means that even in our life, we should avoid. Of course, we need to have food, but we should not spend so much time just to search for food. All right. Now today there will be some other topics about this abhinya and then these 3 watches and so on. So I made a short note here. Later I will come back here again. So let's go for the reading, because since that the Buddha and his teaching has a very good information, so we follow the book, and some of you will have the book also, so it's easy to read. Okay, so I was reading through today. Let's go for the. Okay, previously we are talking about temptation of the Mara, right? So the middle path, that's the last one we finished, and then we already finished this page about the middle path. Now today we talking about the dawn of truth. Right, so as usual, we invite the Venerable to read first. And we also can do like this. If Venerable read, so he will do the analysis. And if any of you want to do analysis, you all can just lift your hand and or just unmute and join in, because if not, I feel that like if somebody have to read and have to analyze, maybe very difficult for them. So it was tiring. So maybe somebody read, somebody analyze. Okay. So we will try to do whatever method we can. All right. But this we can start now. You can read maybe up to these pages.
Dawn of truth.
Yeah.
Regaining his lost strength with some coarse food, he easily developed the first jhana, which he gained in his youth. By degrees, he developed the second, third, and fourth jhanas as well. By developing the jhanas, he gained perfect one-pointedness of his mind. His mind was now like a polished mirror where everything is reflected in its true perspective. Thus with thoughts tranquilized, purified, cleansed, free from lust and impurity, pliable, alert, steady, and unshakable, he directed his mind to the knowledge as regards the reminiscence of the past births. Ube Niva Sanusati Mana. He recalled his varied lots in former existences as follows. First 1 life, then 2 lives, then 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, up to 50 lives, then 100, 1,000, 100,000, then the dissolution of many world cycles, then the evolution of many world cycles, then both the dissolution and evolution of many world cycles. In that place he was of such a name, such a family, such a caste, such a dietary, such the pleasure and pain he experienced, such his life's end. Departing from there, he came into existence elsewhere. Then such was his name, such his family, such his caste, such his dietary, such the pleasure and pain he did experience, such life's end. Thence departing, he came into existence here.
Okay. So anybody want to analyze? If no, then Bante analyze. So or Bante, you want to analyze?
Ascetic Gautama, after realizing the middle path, he started to gain his strength through taking food and started developing his jhana up to the fourth jhana. And in his first watch, he gained a knowledge known as the reminiscence of past birth.
Okay. Okay, so here, here the main thing is now when you see all this past life, you know, let's say like this, you see up to 100, 1,000 past life, like see all these things, okay? Then from this kind of situation, what will the mind do if like repeating seeing the past life again and again? Anybody want to say? If let's for example, like you yourself, you see your past life and then you see another past life, you see your thousands and hundreds of past life, what kind of feeling will you come after you see many past life? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
So what do you think? Okay. How about Doris? What do you think? Maybe ask some of the meditator here. If you are a meditator, all right. So you see something repeatedly, what will you feel?
I think I'll feel scared. I'm not
You
sure.
get scared?
After
And
seeing something so different, that maybe I will realize that this is not the only birth that I'm experiencing.
Yes.
Then I've been existed many lifetimes before.
Okay.
So
finally,
I really don't know, Sayaj.
Okay, all right. So this like we call it. All right. Let's say we come to this. All right. So the Buddha. Okay. Now he is the Bodhisattva, right? The Bodhisattva. So maybe quite thousands or millions of his past life. It's like watching movie. Like I would say, just like watching movie. Okay. So if you continuous watch the movie for millions and thousands times, what you feel? You feel first, you like Dory say, right? This is not the only life, okay? And second thing, you feel weariness. Why? Because you see from the birth, you go to death. Then from the birth, you go to birth and you go to death. So it's like you see the samsara, repeatedly, you call it the samsara. So you see the same thing again, you feel weariness and you feel very afraid. In a way, you're afraid because you see so many numerous past life. Like you're so happy, finally everything must end. Okay. So you feel weariness at that point. Sorry, can you follow?
Yes, Sayaji, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like if you watch one time, maybe if you watch one time movie, it's very interesting. But if you see same movie or same similar movie thousands of times, how you feel? After that, you are not interested in watching the movie, right?
Yes.
So like the Bodhisattva, he saw his past life, like many stories. It's actually to him, it's just like stories, All these are story because whenever we see our past life, all these are just like story. So after that, you realize it's not the life. You feel weariness. All this must come to end. That's the first truth that he has. All right. So the truth, the name is that is the first knowledge he writes in the first watch. Right. This is the first knowledge. So later we will do summary. All right. So this is the one. He call it Pube. Pube is past. Okay. Nivasa means Nivasa actually like dwelling. It's like Anusati is remembrance. All right. Means that you remember life in the past again. So this is the first one. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Now from the second one, all right. So later he go for the second knowledge. Venerable Sadanandi, please speak from this part onward. Then the next page.
Despairing past the ignorant with regard to the past. Directly he purified mind to the perceptions of the disappearance and reappearing of being. Chutu papata mana.
Can you put your microphone nearer to you because your voice is not clear? Put your microphone nearer to you. Yeah.
Is it better now? With warriors, visions, purified and supernormal, he perceived being disappearing from one state of existence and reappearing in another. He beheld the best and the normal, and the beautiful and the ugly, the happy and the miserable, all passing according to their needs. He knew that this good individual by evil deeds, words and touch, by revealing the noble one, by being misbelievable, and by conforming themselves to the action of the misbeliever after the dissolutions of their body and after death have been born in sorrowful state. He knew that this good individual by good deeds, word and touch, by not revealing the noble ones, by being right behavior and by conforming themselves to the actions of the right behavior, after the dissolution of their body and after death, have been born in happy, celestial worlds, thus with clairvoyant supernatural vision, he beheld the disappearing and appearance of being. This indeed was the second knowledge that he realized in the middle watch of the night.
Okay. So the second knowledge. What is the second knowledge, Venerable? Is there a name here? This second knowledge is this one.
The first one, the second one, the chatu
This one.
patamana, the perceptions of the
Yeah, the perception of the disappearance and disappearance of being. Chuta papata mana. All right. Okay, so from here, what do you know? What did he really see? I mean, you can say in your own way. What did the Bodhisattva see? Sorry. You see the being. I'm trying to increase the volume. Sorry. He see the beings. What is it? Disappearing from one state and the appearance from another state. Okay. All right. So about this action of believers. So from this point, what did he see? If those not doing good, they go to bad place. So what did he see from here?
Karma.
Yeah, karma. You see the working of karma. Yeah. Okay. All right. So those who are doing good deeds, they go to a good place. All right. So this is the second knowledge. All right. Okay. So second knowledge is like so this is the first knowledge. All right. So the second knowledge is called this one. The first knowledge is this one. Just now his past life. So when we talking about the first knowledge, like just now we talking about his past life, Buddha past life. All right. So this second knowledge is called Chutu Papata Mana, middle watch. So at the second watch, so this is called, he see the this is talking about appearing, that means that he see the birth and death of other beings, not him. and he also see the working of karma. Okay, karma means that good action bring to good rebirth. Okay, so vice versa. So bad action bring to bad place. All right. So he see this one. So from here, actually, you can say he more understand the working of the karma, right? So the first one, he see his life. Second one, actually, he see the life of other beings. So is very easy. First one is his life. Second one is life of others, right? Both of that, this means that the life, comprehend the life of others. So this, you call it the second watch, right? Okay. Okay, Doris, can you read the next one?
He realizes it.
Yes.
From
This
he
one,
realized
dispelling. This one. From this part. Yeah.
dispelling. Dispelling thus the ignorance with regard to the future, he directed his purified mind to the comprehension of the cessation of corruptions. Asavakaya mana. I'm reading from the text, Sayaji.
Okay,
He realized in accordance with fact, this is sorrow, this the arising of sorrow, this the cessation of sorrow, this the path to the cessation of sorrow. Likewise, in accordance with the fact, you realized these are the corruptions, this the arising of corruptions, this the cessation of corruptions, this the path leading to the cessation of corruptions. Thus recognizing, thus perceiving, his mind was delivered from the corruption of sensual craving, from the corruption of craving for existence, from the corruption of ignorance. Being delivered, he knew, delivered am I, and he realized rebirth is ended, fulfilled the holy life, done what was to be done. There is no more of this state again. This was the third knowledge that he realized in the last watch of the night.
Okay. So for this, you can see the note here. This is
Yeah.
a very famous, you know, if you learn any of the Pali, you come across this Hina Jati. Birth is ended. And then the Brahmacharya, you know, the Brahmacharya means that, Brahmacharya is the noble life.
Noble life.
It's past participle, it's live.
Mm.
Done. Kariniya, Katam. Done what has been done. There's no more further state than this.
Mm.
So this is the one. Okay. So from, let's say from this part. Sorry, the tablet or something. All right. So this Asawa. Have you heard about Asawa?
No.
Yeah, you will learn in Abhidhamma. It's called corruption here. So Asawa means is actually, sounds a very technical name, but actually it just means kind of defilements. You know, there are 4 Asawa. Especially when you learn Abhidhamma, you come to this sensual desire, then becoming. So this means that becoming born again is also another Asawa. Wrong view is another Asawa. Ignorance is also another Asawa, right? Okay. So here
Yes.
Bhava means born in the form of formless. The human is a form. And then those Brahma with no body is called formless. This one when you learn the Abhidhamma, you come across this. So this is the Abhidhamma preview.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, now this part, this is sorrow. This is arising of sorrow, this is cessation of sorrow, this is the path leading to sorrow. What is this? Do you know what it is?
Suffering.
Okay, so this is suffering, this is arising of suffering,
Yeah.
this is cessation of suffering, this
Cessation
path
of
leading to suffering. So what it is?
The fourth noble truth.
Okay, 4 noble truth, all right? So this means that at this Asawakaya, right? Beside this Asawakaya, he had the cessation of the corruption. He also realized the 4 noble truth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And from this statement, okay, from this statement, what kind of state has he reached?
He has reached Nibbana.
And you know, Nibbana,
liberation.
there are 4 types of noble person, right? So, you know,
Yeah.
the Sotapanna,
Yeah.
Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahant. So which state has
Yes.
he reached?
He's above the Arahant, in fact. He has already reached liberation. He's already liberated from everything.
So is he, you say he's above the Arahant.
Yeah. He's
All right.
Arahant and above, I guess.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So now this, all right. So
Yeah.
this, at this point that he realized the 4 noble truths. So when he say the holy life has been lived, by that statement, all right. So by this statement, this is very important statement. Rebirth is ended. Okay, when somebody says his rebirth is ended and done, there's no more further step than this. So from this point, we know that if he say he has no more rebirth, right? So that means that
Yes.
he become Arahant. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Means because Arahant has no more rebirth. So if somebody has rebirth, means that Sotapanna have how many? Seven.
Yeah.
Seven.
Yes.
Seven rebirth, right? Then the Sakadagami, and then
Yes.
it's 1 or 2,
One.
right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Anagami will not not reborn in the sensual plane, right? The Arahant means no more rebirth, no more rebirth. All right. So from this point, we know that he has reached the, how many Nibbana we have? We have 4 level of enlightenment. All right. So this means that he has reached the highest. Okay, he has reached the highest. That the 4th stage has become the Arahant. Okay, now he's Arahant, right? He's Arahant.
Yes.
From
Yes.
now this point, we know that this is Arahant already. So this is correct one. But is Arahant same with the Buddha? You know, so from this people get confused. That's why you tell me he's above the Arahant.
Yeah.
He's Arahant, but why is it he's above the Arahant? Okay, so then we need to go to analyze. Now we know Arahant is somebody who has no enlightenment. Arahant is somebody who has no more rebirth, right?
No
Finish,
more rebirth.
no more samsara. But who is the Buddha? So from here we know Buddha is also an Arahant.
And Arahant.
Yes, okay. Then this is the first point we get from here. Then when we go to the next chapter, then we'll know, then they will discuss who's the Buddha. So actually this is very important. If somebody asks you who's the Buddha, do you think you can answer offhand who's the Buddha? Very difficult, right?
Yes. Very difficult.
Okay. Yes. So we will go for the next chapter to analyze who's the Buddha. So from this statement that we know he is no more rebirth, finished, done what has to be done, no more this step. So he's become an Arahant already, right? So okay, let's study these 3, all right? So just now, the first one, he remember his past life. That's the first one. Second one, he see how beings appear and disappear. That's a middle watch. That means that he see the life, the birth and death of other beings, and he see the working of karma. The good rebirth, good action go to good place, bad action bring to bad place. And then the last one, cessation of corruption, asawa. That means that here, or he writes the 4 noble truths. No, 4 noble truths means that including nibbana, right? So at the stage of nibbana means that no defilements, right? And he become arahant already, right? Okay. So now we can come to this. In Buddhist dictionary, you'll find this abhinya, right? 6 higher powers or supernormal knowledge, right? So basically, just magical power like fly to the sky, fly to the sky, dive inside the earth. This one, like hearing, like hear very far sound, all this. This one they will get it very normal. And then some with like psychic power, they can understand the mind of others, right? Then the one mentioned here in this paragraph is this one, right? Remembering the former activity, the Pube is called Pube Nivasa, Anusati here, also same. And also there's another one called Divine Eye. This Divine Eye is also have another name, right? The one that we see this name, this one, Suto Papata Jnana, right? That means that you see the this one, the perception of disappearance and disappearing and appearing of the. So sometimes when we mention about this abhinya, higher powers, so it's talking about this magical power, or we call it psychic power, or supernormal power, right? Okay, but here we are not talking just now. This is we call it mundane power, you know, like this. Even somebody know enlightened, they also can get this power. They also can get this power. They also can get this power. But only like those special one like Buddha and some of the Arahant, they will see this. They will see this. Okay, and they will see this. Okay, so only 4, 5, this 4, and this 6 also, right? Okay, can you follow? Oh, this 6 higher power, the one mentioned here is a 4 and 5 and 6 only.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so from this point, we know that the Buddha, he has reached the state of Arahant. Of course, the Buddha is more than Arahant. Then we need to know. Now, at this point, we know from the description, we know who is Arahant, and we need to analyze who is the Buddha. Of course, the Buddha is also Arahant. So from here, we go to the next chapter. Okay. Yeah. So I think it's interesting to read this way. First, you get lots of very good English, and also you get the Dhamma at the same time. Okay, now, Buddhahood. Now we need to know who's the Buddha. If somebody asks you who's the Buddha, can you answer offhand? So need to study this chapter well. All right, somebody can read this chapter with Buddhahood, chapter 3. Okay, so any volunteer? Anybody want to read? Please volunteer yourself. Tony, can you join in? Just now you say you cannot hear. Can you hear now, Tony?
Yeah. I reboot the thing.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now,
Okay.
not
All right, maybe you read, okay, Tony.
okay. Buddhahood. The Tathagatas are only teachers. Characteristics of the Buddha. After a stupendous struggle of 6 strenuous years, in his 35th year, ascetic Gautama, unaided and unguided by any supernatural agency, and solely relying on his own efforts and wisdom, eradicated all defilements, ended the process of grasping and realizing things as they truly are by his own intuitive knowledge, became a Buddha, an enlightened or awakened one. Thereafter, he was known as Buddha Gautama, one of the long series of Buddhas that appeared in the past and will appear in the future. He was not born a Buddha, but became a Buddha by his own effort. The Pali term Buddha is derived from Bud, to understand or to be awakened. As as he fully comprehended the Four Noble Truths, and as he arose from the slumbers of ignorance, he is called a Buddha. Since he not only comprehends but also expounds the doctrine and enlightens others, he is called a Sama Sambuddha, a fully enlightened one. To distinguish him from Pacheka, as individual Buddhas who only comprehend the doctrine but are incapable of enlightening others.
Okay, do you want to analyze?
Okay, through his own effort, because there's no other teachers that's higher than him that can teach him. He
Okay,
has
good.
gone through all the various ups and downs, sufferings, as well as own effort. He has reached a level which is higher than anybody else. So he is now called the enlightened one, awakened one.
Okay, so the first point is without teacher, right? Rely
Yeah,
on own effort. Okay,
own effort. Yes.
so let me write down the first one. So who is the Buddha? Now we know he's alive. So reach Buddhahood without help from any
No one.
teacher, by own effort only, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, yes.
Okay. Now he has, in fact, surpassed all the other Buddhas, even the Pacceka Buddha, because through his effort, he has gone beyond that.
Okay,
And
so he's more than the Pacceka Buddha,
yeah,
right? Okay, so why is he is means that he is how we call this kind of Buddha? Sama
Sambuddha.
Sambuddha, okay, right? So he is Sama Sambuddha, means that more than Pacceka Buddha, okay?
Yeah.
So how do you define the Sama Sambuddha?
It's a fully enlightened one.
Fully enlightened one, okay? Fully, Sama is fully, Sam is enlightened.
Enlightened.
Then how about the Sam? This Sam means what? Sama is full. We learn the Pali, right? Sama is
Yeah.
Sam. Okay, then Sam is what?
I wouldn't know.
Fully self-enlightened
So,
one.
self-enlightened one.
Yeah. Okay, so we see this one. You can this, yes, fully enlightened one, but you can put the Sam as self also.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, this is the second point. How about the third point?
The third point. He has comprehended everything, all the doctrines, everything, and he's able to teach and spread whatever he has learned through his
Okay.
hardship, where
All
others,
right.
others has
Okay.
not reached the
You mean
level
that
of,
Sama Sambuddha, okay? So
yeah,
compared to Pacceka Buddha, so Sama Sambuddha can teach
yeah,
others, right? Then this we call it the Pacceka Buddha
yeah.
cannot teach others. Okay, cannot teach others. Okay, there's another point. But there's also another point on the terms Buddha, terms Buddha. There's another point here, the terms Buddha.
Yeah, would understand.
Okay, to understand. Okay, and
And
there are two meanings here.
he has comprehended the Four Noble Truths.
Noble truth. Okay, so he understands the Four Noble Truth.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this term awaken? Awaken from what? Awaken from? It's not mentioned here. Okay, awaken from what? Awaken from darkness. Okay, so you can see the terms Buddha means awaken. So he understands the Four Noble Truths, and then awaken from darkness of
From darkness.
ignorance. Yeah, darkness of ignorance. Yeah, because the Buddha means somebody wake up from the darkness. Okay. All right. I think that's all we copy. And also another important thing, he mentioned that a series of Buddha from the past and future. Do you understand what's the meaning of here? Why is it need to mention there are Buddhas in the past and Buddha in the future? Anybody else? If you have any idea why there's need to talk about other Buddhas here. You all don't be just sit down and listen, this is passive learning. So please join in the discussion also, all right? So anybody know why we mentioned the Buddha of the past and future here?
Saya Ji, maybe?
Yeah.
May I
Yes.
maybe give my opinion? Maybe
Yes.
saying that a normal person can become a Buddha. Is it possible if he really practices well? gets
Okay.
into his concentration, into deep concentration, maybe he's able to achieve what a Buddha has gone through.
Okay, so you mean that
An
normal
ordinary person, yeah,
ordinary person. But if
yeah,
you say like an ordinary person can become Buddha, it sounds
yeah.
too normal already, right?
Maybe
Okay, so maybe we don't say ordinary person. We
Ah.
say somebody who really determined, like the
Okay.
Bodhisattva can become the Buddha, right? So maybe we can
Yes,
put in this idea. But if you give me ordinary person, I would say it's too ordinary.
yes,
So
yeah,
this
yeah,
this
true.
sentence already in the past and already in the future. Okay, why? Maybe we think about this sentence is talking about try to show us. The keyboard got problem. Okay, say Buddha is trying
Yes,
to.
that the President Gautama Buddha has surpassed all, even the past or even the future that is coming.
No. We cannot say like that.
Uh,
Because the Buddha of the past and future, they all teach in the same manner, teach in the same way. You cannot say our Buddha surpassed the other Buddha. Other Buddha are not good. Current Buddha is the best. You cannot say like this. Okay. So you can say, like say, like a body, someone who determined to be Bodhisattva can be a Buddha, in the future if he works very hard. Okay, we say very hard, because we must make it not easy. All right. And also another thing, a Buddha in past means that you can say in this world or this universe, many Buddhas had appeared. So this means that from this statement we say that the truth had appeared in the past. Okay, or we say the Four Noble Truths appeared in the past, now also disappeared. All right. So this means that it's very difficult to say. Okay, that's first statement, and many people has a past in the future. This means that there, well, you all can think about that. For those who want to write something like Doris, you think about that, how to talk some more about this. Okay, I will just think about that also. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so thanks, Tony. All right, so you can mute your microphone.
okay.
Okay, next person. Yes. Okay, now we already get to know. All right, the Buddha is somebody who rely on own effort without teacher. We already know the terms. He's created all the development. This means that he's an arahant, right? And he become the Sama Sambuddha, fully self-enlightened Buddha. And the terms Buddha means Bud, to understand the Four Noble Truths, to awaken from the, is it here? Arose from the slumbers of ignorance, so awaken from the ignorance. All right, so this is the one. Okay, now this is interesting. Okay, so let's read some more. So, okay, we can read. Next person who want to volunteer to read. Any volunteer?
Saji, I would like to try.
Okay.
Before his enlightenment, he was called Bodhisattva, which means one who is aspiring to attain Buddhahood. Every aspirant to Buddhahood passes through the Bodhisattva period, a period of intensive exercise and development of the qualities of generosity, discipline, renunciation, wisdom, energy, endurance, truthfulness, determination, benevolence, and perfect equanimity. In a particular era, there arises only one Sama Sambuddha. Just as certain plants and trees can bear only one flower, even so one world system, Lokadhatu, can bear only one Sama Sambuddha. The Buddha was a unique being. Such a being arises but rarely in this world and is born out of compassion for the world, for the good, benefit, and happiness of gods and men. The Buddha is called Acharya Manusa. As he was a wonderful man, he is called Amatasa Datta, as he is the giver of deathlessness. He is called Varado, as he is the giver of purest love, the profoundest wisdom, and the highest truth. He is also called Dhammasami, as he is the Lord of the Dhamma doctrine. As the Buddha himself says, he is the accomplished one, Tathagata, the worthy one, Arahant, the fully enlightened one, Sama Sambuddha, the creator of the unreasoned way, the producer of the unproduced way, the proclaimer of the unproclaimed way, the knower of the way, the beholder of the way, the cognizer of the way. The Buddha had no teacher for his enlightenment. Name Acharyo Ati. The teacher have I not, are his own words. He did receive his mundane knowledge from his lay teachers, but teachers he had none for his supramundane knowledge, which he himself realized by his own intuitive wisdom. If he had received his knowledge from another teacher or from another religious system, such as Hinduism, in which he was nurtured, he could not have said of himself as being the incomparable teacher, Aham Sattar Anuttaro. In his first discourse, he declared that light arose in things not heard before. During the early period of his renunciation, he sought the advice of the distinguished religious teachers of the day, but he could not find what he sought in their teachings. Circumstances compelled him to think for himself and seek the truth. He sought the truth within himself. He plunged into the deepest profundities of thought, and he realized the ultimate truth which he had not heard or known before. Illuminations came from within and shed light on things which he had never seen before. As he knew everything that ought to be known, and as he obtained the key to all knowledge, he is called Sabanyu, the omniscient one. The supernormal knowledge he acquired.
Okay. By his own effort.
The super knowledge he acquired by his own efforts continued through a countless series of births.
Okay. So, okay, anybody want to, okay, now where do we start? So we finish this one and we start with this, all right? So we can analyze some of the important point here. Okay, so sorry, Vera or anybody else? What is the important point here?
The Buddha was a unique being. He is called Acharya Manusa. He is called Amatasa Datta. He is called Radha. He is called Dhammasami, and many others.
Okay, so you get the point from here. All right. Okay, so beside this, what else?
He is an accomplished one, Tathagata, the worthy one, the fully self-enlightened one, the creator of the reason why, way, proclaimer, knower, beholder, cognizer. Then he have no teachers for his enlightenment.
Okay, that's the first point that he said. I think the first point already that he has no teacher for his own enlightenment. All right. So the knowledge he get from the mundane teacher cannot say is the cause for his enlightenment, right? So of course he get all these jhana, all these are we call it the mundane knowledge, but it's not the teacher for his enlightenment. They just teacher for his some meditation. That's all. All right. Okay. Now the first thing he called bodhisattva. Okay. You look at the page, which was the previous page on the bodhisattva 26. All right. You see that on the first one that you read is called
Yeah.
Bodhisattva. Okay. You know the word body. What is the word body?
Enlightened beings. Bodhisattva is enlightened beings.
Enlightened being, but he is not enlightened yet. So
On the path to enlightenment.
okay, so yeah. So body, let's look for this now. Okay. So if we're going to divide the word body, all right, so people know body means enlightened, right? Enlightenment. Satta is being, okay? So means that somebody who aspiring or somebody, sometimes we bodhisattva, how you call it in English? Buddha to be, right? Buddha
Yeah.
to be. But nowadays, I think we just stick to the translation, bodhisattva, because it's difficult to translate all the Pali word direct. So Buddha to be or bodhisattva is okay, all right? So then, okay, now, do you see this one on this side to this side? What kind of quality is mentioned here? All this generosity, discipline, renunciation, what kind of quality is mentioned
The
here?
10 parami
Oh, yes.
are
Oh, yes.
went through
So this means that he had to practice the 10 parami. Yes, this is the point here, right? So for Buddhahood, how many parami?
10.
Besides 10, 10 times 3, remember? So,
Yes.
so you have so 10 parami times
Paramita,
3, yeah, 3 level. We call it 3 times 3 level. So actually totally there are 30 paramis. Okay. So the first one is normal parami. The second one is a superior. Then another one is ultimate parami. So there are 3 types here. So the one mentioned here is, do you remember the Pali name?
wait, where is it now?
This one, right?
Cannot see, so small.
No, okay. So generosity.
We start from Dana, Sila, Nikama,
Okay.
Anya, Viriya,
Dana,
Kanti,
Sila with the long I.
Dana, Sila, Sila.
Yeah.
Sila,
Nekama. Yeah, wait.
Taiji, Sila.
I know. It's let me. I had to change the keyboard there. Yeah. Sila. Okay. Dana, Sila.
Dana, Sila, Nikama,
Nekama.
Anya, Viriya,
Tanya.
Kanti.
Yeah. Tanya. Not this one. Tanya. Tanya. Long A. And then with the long A also. Right? Tanya. So you
Viriya,
got
Kanti.
Viriya. Kandi.
Kanti, Sacha,
Sacha.
Aditana,
Okay. Adi. There's a
Metta,
double T.
Upeka.
Metta.
Metta, Upeka.
Okay.
Aditana, Metta, Upeka.
Okay. Metta with a long A. And then Upeka. Right? So I think this, for 2 vulnerable, I think you all should remember this by heart. This kind of question always very good one. Because it's very important to remember this 10 paramis here times 30 paramis, Dana, Sila, Nikama, Panya, Viriya, Kanti, Satya, Aditana, Metta, Upeka. Right?
You also must remember the story.
The
If
story.
demand exam.
Yeah, the story, like a short story about the Prince
Jataka
Sujata.
story.
Yeah. Sujata?
Jataka story.
Oh, Jataka story. Okay. Anyway, for remember this one, for me, I will remember DSN, Dana, Sila, Nekama, PVK, Panya, Virya, Kandi, then SA, Satya, Aditana, M, Metta, and Upeka. I remember in this way. Since the first time I learned this, I remember this one. But it's up to everybody have different, call it the acronym, all right? So I just remember this one. So this one, I think is good to remember. It might become in the exam time, right? All right, so is this first is talking about bodhisattva, second thing about talking about the practice of the bodhisattva. So this is practice of bodhisattva. So now you're talking about at only one time there's only, that's very important, no? In the whole world system, in a one time, this means that only one Sama Sambuddha. Because the world system Loka Dhatu can only bear only one Sama Sambuddha. It's very important. So this means that in the one world right now, even though now knows Gautama Buddha, but his teaching is still here. So there will be no other Buddha appear in the world. Only when the teaching of this Buddha disappear, then the next Buddha will appear. Let me copy. Okay, so this is the next point. Okay, so this is also important to know. Okay, so the next one is all these different names. Right? All these are different names. The next one is also important. He has no teacher. He also say na me acharyo ati. You notice that when he put a na in front, it's very stressing. No, I don't have any teacher. No, na ati is have or have here. Me to me or my teacher. So no teacher I have. So here you learn already. For those who taking the basic, you can see the ati. You know, ati santi. All right, this is also very good here. Direct come to the Pali. Nami Acharya Nati. This is the Buddha said personally. But this kind of teacher he's talking is not the that kind of mundane teacher. Of course, he will have mundane teacher. Because before that he learned from two teachers, but all this we call it mundane teacher. It's not for the, so we can see here the statement is mundane teacher and supramundane teacher. You know, his two teachers are from mundane teacher. So he has the just now the right. So he get from the mundane teacher only. But he do not get from supramundane. So if people ask you, do he got mundane? Of course he got mundane. So how many teacher? Before that he got two teachers. So he had right mundane knowledge from mundane teacher, but he will not get the from the non. This is important. Non for the supramundane teacher. Because supramundane teacher means that supramundane knowledge means referring to nibbana. At that time, nobody will realize the nibbana at all, unless only when Buddha appeared, then he is the first one to attain the nibbana. Hmm? So he's called Sabbenyu, with the N with the curry on the top. He knows everything that ought to be known. So Sabba is all. New is the one who knows, omniscient one. All right. So now you get the answer. All right. Now this is talking about Bodhisattva. Now we are talking about characteristic of the Buddha. Just now, he's called Buddha, means good to be. Now is how he practiced the 10 parami, and then he said he had no teacher. Now we come to this question. Okay, we can further analyze like just now. We have this question, all right? Who is Buddha? All right. So first one, just now we have the Buddha. He's an Arahant. He reached the Buddhahood without help of any teacher by his own effort. This is called Sama Sambuddha. So you can talk about Buddha, the terms of Buddha and so on. Okay. Then you can talk about Bodhisattva, right? Then we come back to this topic again. Who is Buddha, right? Okay, now somebody please read. Start from this point. Any volunteer? Pandit, what did you read?
Who is the Buddha? Once a certain Brahmin named Donna, noticing the characteristics marks of the footprint of the Buddha, approached him and questioned him. Your reverence will be a Deva?
No,
No,
indeed.
no, indeed, Brahmin. A Deva am I not, replied the Buddha. Then your reverence will be a Gandhava. No, indeed, Brahmin, a Gandhava am I not. A Yaka then. No, indeed, Brahmin, not a Yaka. Then your reverence will be a human being. No, indeed, Brahmin, a human being am I not. Who then, pray, will your reverence be? The Buddha replied that he had destroyed defilements, which condition rebirth as a Deva, Gandhava, Yaka, or a human being, and added, as a lotus fair and lovely, by the water is not soiled, by the world am I not soiled, therefore Brahmin, am I Buddha. The Buddha does not claim to be an incarnation, avatara of Hindu god Vishnu, who as the Bhagavad Gita charmingly sings, is born again and again in different periods to protect the righteous, to destroy the wicked, and to establish the Dharma. According to the Buddha, countless are the gods, devas, who are also a class of beings subject to birth and death. But there is no one supreme God who controls the destinies of human beings and who possesses a divine power to appear on earth at different intervals, employing a human form as a vehicle.
Okay. So Monday, now somebody asks you, who is the Buddha? So how will you answer?
He is just an enlightened being.
Okay, enlightened being. So he is not a. So he is not a.
He's he is born at he might be born as a human being, but after achieving Buddhahood, he's no longer a human being as what he's claimed lah.
Huh? After become Buddha, he's no longer a human being. So what is he?
Someone that has awakened from a darkness of ignorance.
Okay, so is he still a human being?
Actually, I feel that time he's still a human being. It's just that he is still
Okay.
subject to karma when he still has all the
Okay.
his four. I mean
So
the four.
he is not a deva, like just now he's not deva, he's not a yaka, and then he's not some. So he is a fully enlightened being, right? Enlightened one. So is he a human? He is a human, right? Or not a human?
He is a human.
Okay, he is a human being. All right. So then, as a human being, then what happened? All right. So you say subject to karma. All right. Subject to karma. Right. Like Buddha, like Buddha, he also had like body problem, right? Like he also got diarrhea, and then he also like Buddha being you all heard the story, been accused by the one of the women, right? All these are because of the karma, due to the karma. Okay, so right. Okay, so we know he's not a deva, not a yaka. He's a fully enlightened being. He's a human being. He's subject to karma also. And then what else can we know? Any idea for other students? If people ask you who is the Buddha, how will you answer in the short one?
Saiji, according to the text is written there, he's not a human being, not the ordinary human being.
All right, okay, you can say he is not an ordinary human being. Yes, you can put like this, human being. But of course, he's a human being. Because he is a human being, that's why the Buddha had to pass away, right? Yeah. Okay, so he's not a human being. So he is what? A supernormal being. Sorry, the tablet. He's not a human being. He's not a deva. He's subject to karma. He had to pass away. All right. So what else? can we know? Of course, when you talk about Buddha, you can also mention he was a bodhisattva. You know, if you want to write some more point, you can write about. You can write. He was a bodhisattva. Then you got more things to write, right? Okay. Then you can like the story about bodhisattva, and then he fulfilled 10 paramis, or now you can say 30 paramis. Okay. So like this got more thing to say already. Okay. So let's look at it. So the Buddha say it's a very nice say. As a lotus, fair and lovely. By water is not so. By the word I am not so. Therefore, Brahmin, I am the Buddha. So that's what he say. Okay. So he say he's not a god because at that time they got a Hindu god. Okay. He also not a saver. Right. Okay, so we can continue to read the next paragraph. Yeah. So where do we stop just now? Okay, so yeah, we can continue this page, right? Venerable Sadanandi, yes. Please read.
Nor does the Buddha call himself a savior who freely saves others by his personal relations. The Buddha exhorts his followers to depend on themselves for their deliverance, since both development and purity depends on oneself. One cannot directly purify or defile others. Clarifying his relationship with his follower and emphasizing the importance of self-reliance and individual struggling, the Buddha plainly said, "You yourselves who make an exception, the Tathagata are only teachers." The Buddha only indicates the path and method whereby he delivered himself from suffering and death and achieved his ultimate goal. It is left for his faithful adherents who wish they are released from the ills of life to follow the path. To depend on others for salvation is negative, but to depend on oneself is positive. Dependence on others means a surrender of one's effort. But yes, onto yourself, be your refuge unto yourself, seek no refuge in others. These significant words uttered by the Buddha on his last day are very striking and inspiring. They reveal how vital is self-assertion to accomplish one goal, and how superficial and obvious is to seek the division through illusions, failure, and crave for illusion, happiness in an appetite afterlife through the profitations of inevitably got by Buddha's failure and willingness. Can you see the one? Willingness, sacrifice. The Buddha was a human being. As a man, he was born.
Okay.
As a Buddha, he lived. And as a Buddha, his life came to an end. Part man, he became an extraordinary man owing to his unique characteristics. The Buddha stressed on this important point and left no room for anyone to fall into the error of thinking that he was an immortal being. It has been said of him that there was no religious teacher who was so goodness as the Buddha. Yet none was so good that in his own time the Buddha was no doubt highly venerated forever. but he never erroneous to himself any divinity.
Okay. All right. Okay. So anything you can pick up from here?
The Tathagata are only the teacher. I mean, we have to rely on ourselves.
Okay, rely on oneself, right?
Means
Okay, rely on oneself, and also what else? Okay, this point, he does not call him just savior. This is talking about if you compare with the, of course, when you compare the other religion, right, Christianity, the difference is the Buddha and the here. What's the difference between Buddhism and the other religion? Can you see from this point?
Yeah, the Buddhism is we emphasize on self-reliance and the Buddha is an example. We can see the life of the Buddha through the from the ordinary human being become the normal one. Yeah, through this the self-reliance and the
Self-reliance, all right. So don't rely on other people, and also don't rely on God, you know, because here you can see here in like Christianity, we are talking about relying on a God for savior. For this personal salvation is more the usage they use on a Christianity, all right. So here we don't use the word, all right. So the key point will be to rely on yourself. All right? Okay. So we can go back to this one. So the Buddha advice, okay, we can say the Buddha advice, all right. First, rely on oneself. Okay, this one thing. Or let's say that just also the Buddha is not he is not a savior. Okay. So the Buddha asks us to rely on oneself, not rely on others. Okay. What else? Okay. Any other points that you all can pick up from here? Others too? Thanks, Venerable. Yeah. Any other point you can pick up from here? Doris, can you pick up any point?
I don't think so, Sayaji.
Okay, okay. I think I can pick up. You yourself should make assertion. The Buddha, the Tathagatas are only the teacher. Okay. So another point here. Okay. So what's the meaning of the Tathagata is the only teacher? Anybody want to? What's the meaning of this only teacher here?
Buddha
Tony?
show the way, but we ourselves to walk the path.
Okay, so we walk ourselves.
Yeah.
So the Buddha is only the teacher.
So the directions.
Okay. Yes, Brother Tony, you want to say something?
Yeah, almost like what the sister just said. He is can only teach us how.
Okay. The Buddha teaches
how to go about it in
how
order
to go, how to walk the path, okay?
Yeah. But
Okay.
he cannot sort of like walk for us or take us from one point to another straight away. We have to do our work.
Okay. So we need to walk. We need to walk the path.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's the thing, you know. I think you heard some of the Buddhist music song, right?
Yeah.
Walk the path and something like that. Okay. Rely, of course, it's same like whenever just now she pointed out. The Buddha advised to rely on oneself, not to rely on other people. All right.
Yeah.
we call it self-reliance. Sometimes it's self-reliance. You can use a special thing like self-reliance, or sometimes nowadays they have what self-care, what self-help, right? Many things. Yeah. So this is the difference between the Buddhism and other religion, right? Buddhism is this one. So we in Buddhism there is no savior. There is no like we call it a supreme supreme somebody that can help us, supreme God or whatever that can help us.
Yeah, there's no
There's
shortcut.
no shortcut. Yeah. True. Shortcut. Okay, no shortcut at all. You have to practice hard lah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I think up to now we managed to get the point here. Then the next chapter will be Buddha greatness. I think it's not so important. Okay. After that, next week we will go for this 7 weeks. All right. Okay. All right. So okay. So let me see here. Okay. Let me stop the recording now. Okay, you all don't leave first, right?